Okay, another question I was wondering is VR is such an exciting topic to people. It's dominating the conversation so much. There are two players that are not a part of the conversation, Microsoft and Nintendo. And I wonder if do they, like Paul was wondering about, traditional gamers feeling alienated, do they stand a risk of being alienated? Microsoft has HoloLens, but that's still years away. Nintendo has NX, but who knows what that's going to be? They've given no indication that they're interested in VR technology at all. So I feel like if this is a big, exciting new dimension for video games, like where do they not need to be a part of it?
I mean, in my judgment, and again, like I'm not a professional analyst, I don't sort of sit in on the strategy meetings for these companies. I think that Microsoft's sure. Microsoft is in a tighter spot than Nintendo is. Nintendo's always marched to their own beat and sort of ran on the strength of their own brands and the quality of their software. I don't anticipate there being a concern there. If everyone moves this way, Nintendo kind of likes to be zagging when everyone else is zigging. Microsoft, on the other hand, if VR does turn out to be a big hit, I have to imagine that they're sweating it a little bit if they don't have some sort of solution coming in the near sort of middle term, I guess.
Yeah, I think you can imagine, you can put yourself in Microsoft's position, right, and imagine that they might be a little bit gun shy about something like this after their experience with Kinect, great technology, some great games, but it didn't end up quite being the taken over the world advantage that they thought it might have been.
You are the controller.
What?
What is that?
And then the whole media, is it a media center, is it a game device thing that they went through, which was it's a whole different conversation. But I can see how they might want to sit back a little bit and say, how's this going to play out? Do we want to jump right in, or do we want to be strategic about this? So.
Jump In was also a Microsoft.
It's tricky that Kinect sold, I don't know how many millions. I mean, millions and millions and millions of Kinects. And so in that sense, an overwhelming success, right? But still didn't quite manage to break through and reach that, I don't even know how you would describe it, that threshold of this is just, become a thing. Like it didn't quite reach that level. Despite, so it's like, what does success look like for any sort of peripheral or new platform or something that gloms onto an existing platform?
But I think the question that he's asking is interesting, right? Because he's talking about alienation. Like, are gamers going to be alienated?
The movie Alienation.
Yes, let's talk about the movie
James Caan.
Alienation.
Brilliant.
Wasn't it also a TV series? Yeah. Was that the one where they were allergic to dish soap or something? Like
they drank sour milk.
They drank sour milk to get drunk.
Yeah,
that was like their alcohol.
When there was some other thing.
They had blue blood.
Yeah. And we're going to roll a clip of that right now.
You brought a clip of Alienation.
Let me set this up for you. But no, his question is interesting. I think if I was just a general gamer, not connected to the game industry and all that, and I was watching all this stuff about VR, I might have this question of, is this for me? Is this not for me? I can't try it. None of my friends are trying it. Nobody that I know personally has probably ever tried it. So you're counting on, this cloud of information about VR to tell you whether you should care about it or not. So I think the platform companies and the game developers and publishers and everybody have a lot of work to do to kind of make sure that people understand what this is and why they need it.
Yeah, I mean that's a challenge for us at IGN as well. Like we're kind of figuring out how to illustrate and display this content, and even from a nuts and bolts perspective of how to even get video out so that we can capture video footage at all, and then from a more conceptual perspective of what kind of coverage makes sense.
Have you thought about going directly to people's houses individually, one by one? And
I just shout at people on the street. Hey, PlayStation VR is $399.
It is hard because it is a completely, and I'm not just, and I know I'm close to it, so I'm not just saying it here, but it is a transformative thing when you try it out and you get it for the first time, and you can't really explain that to anybody, and people who just are hearing about it on GameScoop or reading about it are probably just sick of hearing about it, right? It's like I want to get this. I want to get my hands on it and play it. I think that's what they're saying.
Yeah.
Levi, what do you think about Nintendo's current challenges with the Wii U and launching a new console? It's a little. We don't really know what it is yet. We know it's coming. At least information's coming this year.
Tell us, Levi.
I think, as always,
just as a Nintendo fan.
Sure, as a Nintendo fan. I'm always excited to see what they're up to. Some of my favorite games over my entire lifetime have been Nintendo games. So no matter what, I'm always looking forward to seeing what they're going to do next. Nintendo is always full of surprises. They always have a quality threshold for themselves that is heartening to see and usually results in some amazing stuff. So whatever they have announcing this year, I'm definitely looking forward to finding out. Do they have challenges? The whole industry has challenges, but the whole industry also has a bunch of opportunity as well.
Nintendo is pretty resilient. I actually love the GameCube. I love that controller, but that was not an especially popular console. It was sort of the bottom in terms of declining console popularity for like 2 or 3 consoles in a row, and they came back and were bigger than ever, right? So it's like the NX, the Wii U is a massive flop, but I don't think the past predicts the future, especially when Nintendo is concerned.